All right, you know what time it is? It's the Weekly Winedown. And my better half, and you guys know her as Elise, is already started dabbling into her little bit of wine there.
I couldn't wait.
That's all right. But
It's a Friday night. I'm ready to go.
But in saying that, we have, and I'll come around to the camera, that always helps.
It's okay. They can just look at me.
Yes, many would prefer that. Today we're talking about all about building up our significant other. And in doing that, because you are so good in the wine area, I think you should introduce what we're drinking right now.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, babe. Well, first off, cheers.
Cheers.
Always got to start a good drink with a good cheers. Cheers. So today we are drinking one of my personal favorites. Last week we were over in Sonoma, and now we're going over to Napa Valley. Those of you who know me know that I always love a good white Alpha Omega. This is a 2017 Chardonnay, and it tastes like butter. If you are a fan of a buttery Chardonnay, highly, highly recommend it.
Very good. I like white wine. So, in saying that, it's all about building each other up. And in relationships, that's one of the things that is so easy to do is overlook the small things that can actually help build the other person up. And I can't tell you, I mean, I've made this mistake so many times in my relationships, and I think this is something that we've learned to do really well, is build each other up to enhance our relationship. So we want to give you guys four tangible things, takeaways that you can actively do to help build up your significant other.
Yeah. So I'll start with one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Which is notice the little things. You know, in my relationship with Justin, I think, you know, I am highly detail oriented, and I am somebody who is constantly doing little things around the house. Whether it's, you know, I notice that he needs his laundry done, I'll pop in a load of laundry on a Wednesday, or, you know, I notice that his razors are empty, I'll buy him a new set of razors, or, you know, a refill on his toothpaste. It's those little things that I do for him, and of course it's you know, I know you appreciate it, but by Justin going the extra mile and telling me that he noticed it, that he's appreciative of it, for me, is a great way to build me up and make me feel good.
So number one, notice the little things. Okay, number one. Number two, and this is one of my favorites, I think, is, and I hate working in absolutes like always and never, but this is one of those times where always have your partner's back.
Knew you were going to say that.
Especially when you're in public, in front of, in display of others, because whether they're right, whether they're wrong, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't. And even if you've made just a massive error, it's about coming to their aid, recognizing that, and supporting them. And that, in going to build trust, that in going to build the undying understanding that you are there through anything and that you're there for them, is insurmountable. And then when you get to a quiet place, you look at them and go, really? And
you're crazy. And
then it just starts to, and then it quite often will turn into something very funny. But the effect that has, knowing that you always have your partner's back in any situation, is one of the greatest things you can do in building them up.
Number two, have your partner's back. So number three is to celebrate the little wins. I think Justin and I have gotten really good at doing this. One of the things that, I don't know if we've mentioned this on a previous White Claw wrap-up, but one of the things that we've started to do...
Weekly Winedown.
Oh, yeah, Weekly Winedown. One of the things that we do on a daily basis is we talk about our highs and our lows. And when we talk about those highs, we make sure to validate, recognize, and celebrate the other person. And it can be, you know, the other day Justin was working on getting a new client, and he finally closed that client. So that was his big win for the day. Normally it could just be overlooked, but you know, that was something that we definitely were able to celebrate together, and I was able to celebrate you.
100%. And it doesn't even need to be something that large. It could be something as little as getting your to-do list done for the day, or finishing a phone call that was really hard for you to have, but just noticing those little things that are coming about. So I definitely think that is it. So celebrate those little wins. And lastly, but definitely not least, is, again, an absolute, but never use your significant other's insecurity against them. That's the number one way to ruin trust, ruin the understanding that you know they're there. And the number 2 and number 4 in knowing that you always have your partner's back, they're very heavily correlated, because you share things that are so important to one another, and it would completely eliminate that trust. I was listening to Simon Sinek the other day, and he said the definition of love is giving up what you know would tear you down to somebody else, but you trust enough to know that they would never do it. And so in saying that, you giving up your deepest insecurities, the things that you know would just tear you apart, but you know your significant other would never use that against you, is a definition of love. And that's,
cheers to that,
AKA Mr. Cynic. So with that, guys, those are the 4 ways that you can help build up your significant other and truly embrace the best parts of life with that other, with your better half.
Yeah, so why don't you go practice that this weekend? Go find your person and pick one of the 4.
And build them up.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about how it goes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Go own it.
Go own it.